Hey everybody, Mark Levine from EBMG LLC, and I'm here with Ed Mackoul from Mackoul Associates, a local New York City insurance broker. So we have done a few topics before. I really wanted to kind of pick your brain on some things that some of our clients and maybe some of the people that are watching can get some really great tips from. And we decided that what we wanted to talk about today was cyber insurance. And it's something that we haven't really heard that much about, but it seems to be on the tip of everybody's tongue now that we're getting into this whole the Internet of Everything, right? So I figure, why don't I ask you, since you're the expert on the insurance side of it, to kind of explain what it is, what it covers, and is it in our benefit to have it either as a building, which we know, and is there any sense of having it as a management company as a whole? So I'll let you riff on it and kind of give us a 2 cents on it.
Well, first off, thank you for having me. Cyber, certainly a hot topic. My agency's actually been selling insurance policies for co-ops and condos, cyber policies for a couple of years now. Every day you hear of someplace else that their data has been breached, whether it's Target, Home Depot, the banks, the investment companies, every day. Well, it's only a matter of time until you hear about a co-op or a condo being breached, and that's why we started selling a policy. And if you think about it, every co-op, a condo, and management firm has information, personal information on the owners in the building. And not just the owners. And let's take a co-op, you have someone who wants to buy into the building. Well, they got to supply tons of information, including social security number, bank account information. All it takes is for that data to be breached, and it only takes 2 pieces of information. So it could be a name and a social security number, it could be a name and a driver's license number, and now that person's been breached. And we've seen some scenarios that have come very close. There was a scenario where we had there was a prospective buyer in a co-op. He submitted his entire information, the package and everything. It was emailed out to the board, and somehow one of the board members lost their phone. They didn't have a lock or anything on it. Now, nothing had happened, but had someone found that phone, they certainly could have opened up that email and had access to tons and tons of information. So we've had scenarios like that. We've had other scenarios where property managers, management firm had lost a building to another one. They boxed up everything and sent all information, including information on the owners, over to the new management firm, only it was delivered to the wrong place. Okay, so now we had a different place who had all these files on people. Now, most people think with cyber that it's got to be something related to the computer. It doesn't necessarily have to be. Yes, most breaches these days are related to people hacking through computer systems, but paper files are also covered under these policies as well. So a lot of these policies had personal information, copies of driver's licenses, social security numbers, because there were homeowners policies and things like that. So, thankfully, the entity that received the information incorrectly or wrongly turned around and got it back to where it was supposed to be. But again, that certainly could have been a breach as well. So we've had a couple of scenarios like that were kind of relatively close, but it's only a matter of time until there's a breach.
So a lot of these insurance policies, they're kind of a great value for the protection. Are we seeing this on the cyber side too, where it's not that much of a premium per year, but it offers a great protection for the building?
Absolutely. What it does is, when there's a breach, there's a certain number of things that have to be done, and they are costly. First off, you have to hire a forensic firm or forensic accountant to figure out how the breach occurred. Okay, so that's number one, you have to pay them. Number two, the breached entity, let's say the co-op or the condo, is responsible now for notifying everyone who's been breached. Number three, they now have to monitor their credit for 2 years. Wow. Okay, so there's other things on top of that. Let's talk. We have a high-end condo in New York City. Well, if people know that they've been breached and the owners have had their data stolen, well, who's going to want to buy a unit in that building there? So there's also coverage under the insurance policies for public relations and a host of other costs that are covered under there. And the main one as well, along with everything else that they're responsible for, is there's liability insurance in there. The scenario I was mentioning before where the prospective buyer was trying to buy in a co-op, well, he can certainly sue the association for the fact that he's been breached. So the insurance policy would also pick that up. So it is a very worthwhile policy. And right now the rates they're really inexpensive, Mark, I have to tell you. Pretty much any co-op or condo can get a policy under $1,000 for $1 million in coverage.
Wow.
So it's very inexpensive. I do think in the future, yes, the premiums will go higher, and the reason being is, again, we really haven't had that breach that has triggered anything at this point. So I just not sure the insurance company knows how to price it. So it's priced very well right now.
And it's just more, I guess, now preventative, because we haven't had any historical breaches, as you said, that kind of drive that industry further and pricier, right?
And that's usually what insurance, that's how they determine rates. You know, they have all this data and how often there's a fire and how much damage it's going to cause, and that's how they build out the rates. Well, at this point, they really don't have that data, that history. So someday they will, because, again, the way computer systems are, every association now is getting a website and they're allowing the maintenance fees to be paid on there. Okay, well, all it takes is someone to hack into there and get credit card information on the owners who are paying the maintenance fees. We have a breach there.
Right. So that's a good kind of segue into the management side of it. So we've spoken about the co-op condo side, why it's important for them to have it. But from our perspective, because we do offer, let's say, a portal where people could pay their maintenance or their common charge or their rent online. We also have, internally we use Dropbox for our kind of file storage, which is, it's a good solution, but nothing is fail-safe. When there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
You know, so it doesn't make sense as a property management company or as any other company in general to get this type of cyber policy as well.
It probably makes more sense for you guys to have the policy than the association. Don't get me wrong, the association should have it, but you guys absolutely should have it as well. Just some of the scenarios you've mentioned there. I mean, you have information on all the owners in different buildings there. Yeah. So let's take all the scenarios we've already talked about that could certainly happen to you. Let's add another one there. We've seen in one of the firms where a rogue employee downloaded all the personal information on owners because he knew he was being fired. He had it on a disk and he was walking out of there. They caught him, but had he gotten out of there, he had information on I don't know how many owners. It could have been thousands. Well, think about what the cost to the management firm would have been if everyone hadn't breached there. You would have to have done the forensic accountant portion. Okay, you know where the breach came from, but you would have to have notified everyone, and that could have been 10,000 owners. And you would have to have monitored the 10,000 owners' credits for 2 years and everything on, plus public relations. So absolutely, every management firm should have one. And again, the rate structure is basically the same. So you're looking at a policy that's maybe $1,000.
Okay, so makes sense. So, all right, well, thank you for the primer on the cyber insurance. And Ed, we could reach you at Mackoul.com.
www.mackoul.com. That's spelled Mackoul.
And what's your email, just so everybody has it?
ejmackoul@mackoul.com, or you could just call the office, 516-431-9100.
And I'm Mark Levine. You can follow us all over social media. We are at EBMG LLC, and I am available by email all the time at mblevine@ebmg.com. Until next time.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.